What's good, everybody? I see we are live. Okay, I see people that were joining in right now. Um, I definitely will give it some time for people to join in on tonight's call. But welcome everyone that's currently here at the moment. Shout out to everyone that hopped on. Basically, with everything has been going on with. Oops, there we go. Um, our level will get started on tonight's session. If anybody is joining in late, they can always ask questions. But I'll definitely will go ahead and dive straight into tonight's session. Basically, with everything going on with crypto overall, I definitely will look at Bitcoin first before anything, and then work my way down to the rest of the charts. So on previous setups, I know I did send out like a setup. I think it was this one. No, it wasn't that one. I just sent out a previous setup. I think it was on Saturday. And definitely, of course, smacked for 1,000 pips, I believe, 1,100 pips. So it was a pretty good, nice movement this weekend. If you guys were paying attention to the markets, I know this actually was one of the first weekends in a while where we actually seen some volatility. And I was kind of looking back at previous charts on the weekends, and it just dies off. Like there's no volume. There's like nothing going on. There's liquidity building up, but this previous weekend it was very very volatile. What's good, man? I see static. How's it going? I'm doing great. Blessed. Happy to be here. Um, hope your day's going pretty well. But especially with like this past weekend, it was extremely volatile with all the news that's been revolving around the war, and yeah, definitely this weekend was very very volatile, and we were able to catch some opportunities. Right off the bat, when I was actually on the charts trading and seeing the setups, there was plenty of opportunity to capture some buys and also sells. So even right now, like any kind of setups I do take currently, it would have to be very, very low risk because we're currently still trading inside of this range. Like I personally don't like the continuous like liquidity building up here. It's just been spiking out, stop hunting, a lot of orders. So I'm definitely gonna be using a lower risk at the current moment when it comes to any kind of setups that I do have. And if you guys do plan on taking any more setups on BTC, then I would for sure use low risk because of all of the liquidity. Can't even speak right now, but yeah, basically all the liquidity that is currently building up. Currently, where's the tool? Give me the brush. So basically all this liquidity here building up, smaller time frame liquidity here. I see all this, I see that. But currently, like, we're still uptrending. Like we clear this here, clear this here. So if we're gonna catch any kind of continuations, then I will look for that, look for those opportunities because I see market came back into this candle here, rejected off it nicely. You guys kind of see what I'm saying? So I see the market reject out of this area here beautifully. And now if we're to catch any more opportunities, then it would have to be taking some small buys here. So what's tomorrow? Thursday? No, what's today? Wednesday? Tuesday. Then tomorrow. Let's look at what kind of news is happening tomorrow. I for sure would want to see more bearishness on BTC. But as of now, like structure really just being choppy with all like that basically was just with everything that's currently happening with the war. So I'm still bearish. I still would want to see these get taken out, me personally. But you guys have definitely been a witness to how BTC wants to move. It just does whatever it wants. Like uh one day it like all the structure just shows that it's going bearish, and the next day all we see is a big, fat candle, green candle the next day, changing the overall momentum. But like that's why currently, on a leverage perspective, I would definitely want to see some selling opportunity, 100%. That's if we do get all the alignment that we need for sales. But yeah, let me see here. Yeah, that's basically all my viewpoints as of now. Like, there's definitely a scenario of we can capture some liquidity at these highs and go from there. I definitely want to see what happens towards the end of this week, just because of since we're on a brand new month. And let me see what's happening tomorrow. So we have USD news tomorrow at 7:15 for USD, 9 Thursday in the morning time. So this is not in Central. So it'll probably be like 8:30. And then Friday we got a lot of news. Pretty good a week as far as potential news and order you see the price. Okay, so um, which another good thing, besides the day trading aspect, how Trump definitely wants to have the crypto legislation being passed on the Genesis Act, which is pretty cool. Glad to see that crypto is still um the current topic. Question: Have you seen that Robinhood is adding flying to the platform? And the reason I'm asking is I heard that you'll be able to purchase flights with crypto. I did not hear that. I did not hear that. But if that were to be the case, then it just means I, I guess you can say it's positive. It definitely is positive. Like it brings more liquidity towards that kind of sector as far as like spending wise. Because if you think about it, like a lot of different platforms are offering like, hey, you can buy crypto with this, or buy this with stable coins, and so on and so on and so on. So I definitely do like that. Next probably see like, oh, pay for hotels, with crypto, and there's already been platforms or companies where like, hey, you can buy your car with BTC or any other crypto that they offer. So it's definitely coming as for like adoption, so which is a good sign. It just brings more liquidity towards the market. But that's pretty cool though. I know Robinhood has definitely been on it as far as adapting. I know they've added like the prediction apps. I know Coinbase has been adding the prediction apps. Um, what's another good thing? So something that I did see today, it actually were in part of the chats that perpetuals will be coming to the U.S. Even though, like, for example, there's a lot of futures perpetuals platform that you can't really trade on the US, which has actually been hindering a lot, as far as like you guys to be able to have access to that kind of market and trade it. I know, when it comes to trading on Jupiter, you didn't really have to use a VPN or anything like that, but you're only limited to three pairs, and there's definitely other platforms out there, but you need a VPN to have it turned on. It's probably like on a different network. The leverage is not the same, so be able to have access to more centralized perpetual platforms is definitely on its way, which is a great news for everyone that wants to participate in perpetuals, especially on a um, centralized route, which is actually makes it more convenient for you got to partake in some more of a more options in crypto as far as what to trade. So pretty cool stuff. Um, I'm kind of like, since we're already like going on the topics of different cryptos. I'm look at the crypt. I'm spelling it wrong. There you go. Let me see what else is happening. But that was kind of one of the like the brief stuff that I've seen today. Oh, another thing that I've seen that X they're gonna implement more crypto related topics on X for like filter wise. So whatever you want to search up, it'll be like filtered out, and they just added crypto. And if you guys didn't know this already, where I probably should I say this to Thursday sessions? I'll just say it right now. So on X, you are able to, if you want to become a creator, you have to pay like the monthly thing to be able to have access to more of the options, have more impressions. Get paid to a tweet, and there's definitely that possibility where a lot of the creators or the especially like any other platform or Instagram, Facebook, Snapchats, imagine them being paid out in BTC, Ethereum, or whatever. So that's definitely something that I definitely do see that coming in the foreseeable future. So here, banks. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much so it. That's basically so far as like what I'm seeing on stuff that I want to cover. Yeah, so far that's basically it. That's kind of like some interesting facts that I've seen recently that I should feel free to tell you guys. Okay, so same thing with BTC. I'm actually on Total One, the crypto total market cap of all of crypto. Same structure, same everything that's been happening with BTC. As far as continuations, I do see it. We're still building up a lot of liquidity here. If you will take it out. Oops. So there's been definitely been a lot of liquidity building up here, here, yeah, basically up there, in here. So if we were to even catch some kind of opportunities, then I love do see continuations, but I'll be very, very careful as far as taking anything. So, um, I do see this though. I do see this opportunity here. Same setup as BTC. How much will be the risk? I'm put on the long position tool. Okay. So I'll be risking about 500 pips, 580 pips, give or take. It'll be a nice little 1 to 3 action. I could definitely do. I could definitely take this. If you guys can read the more about thought process with the all the little lines. Do this, make it more easier. But I do see this though as well. I do see this kind of here, right? But we've already reacted out of this area with this current 2 hour candle. So I'm always gonna respect the higher time frames. But would it come back lower? There's a possibility. But I definitely do see this setup here for PTC currently. Small risk, right? I'm always gonna be encouraging that, especially where we're just playing inside of here. And since it's been, stop hunting, clearing people a lot of orders out. So I'll definitely will be careful. Just watch your spread when you guys are entering these kind of setups. So with Ethereum, I'll hold off on it for now. I just don't like how we're just bunching up in price here because currently we're still squeezing. I'll delete this out of the way. Cool. So currently we're still squeezing in this current area. So I'll, as far as like any trades, I'll hold off on it for now. I just don't see it. Not really my cup of tea, just because we have higher time for liquidity, all this here, liquidity building up. So it's not really ideal for me to even like participate in these trades in this particular pair. Yeah, I honestly don't really see anything to be honest. 45, 1 hour. Hmm. Yeah, I'll definitely hold off on it. We'll probably see like another pullback. Another area that I was looking at was here. Well, for some sales. Let me see here. Where is it at? Yeah, probably somewhere in here. Wait for it to like show some kind of signs for sales. Just because this was we had one institutional candle here, right? This move up, cleared all this here, all this here, then sending off, create another institutional candle before we actually dropped off. I definitely do see this. This will probably be like a very, very small risk to reward setup. Small risk if this would be the case. I definitely will monitor these two setups for BTC and ETH as we progress through the rest of the week. There's 140 pips, 140 pips risk. Whether you want to do like a nice little 1 and 3. So currently that's like risking 140 pips to make 1,000. If you use risk management, depending on the spread, just be careful with that. But that's very, very low risk setup. I just want to make that clear. Cool. And then for Solana, I want to see what's happening here. So you guys can see how a lot of these charts are like being, on our usual setups. You see how like it'll come to this area here, which would have been one of my ideas. But like I said, how the market is just stop hunting, taking people's stop loss, and from there the market going their way. This is the kind of like the perfect example of this happening. Why is it doing that? There we go. So this would be like a great example because if you're trading on CFDs, then your 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 spread would have 100% not hit by this trade here. 100%. It left just a little bit of room. All right. It got so close to it, but the spread definitely will get you. But if you're on perpetuals, you wouldn't have to worry. You probably would have been sweating for sure. Like you guys would have definitely would have been seeing like the market going your way, no way against you, seeing getting closer and closer to your stop loss. And then next you see markets reversing, starting to breathe a lot more better now. You're not really huffing and puffing. because like the market is finally leaving your stop loss area and starts decides to go your way. So this kind of would have been like a pretty nice setup as far as opportunity wise. If you guys seen that, shout out to you guys. But this would have been a pretty good overall opportunity. Another one that I definitely do see over here. Your setup would have been a lot more bigger. Your risk, you would have been risking about putting your stop loss right to over here. Like that's already where you're lining up your stop loss right there. Definitely do like 103. When it comes to like having the pips on Solana, I think it's like 118 pips, give or take, or 10 pips. I think it's 10 pips. I know what comes counting pips on Solana is a little different than like counting on PTC and ETH. But for sure, you definitely been risking a bit more on this setup. Let me see here. So yeah, this has definitely been a great step overall. If you guys were looking at Solana, so those are my ideal kind of setups. You've seen how um, it's very similar. You wait for the liquidity sweep, look at the instrumental candle, take your entries right at the opening of the previous bullish candle. If you look for sales, you put your entry there. Your stop loss above the high of the down candle, the previous high of the down candle. Um, and yeah, I mean that's basically your setup like all the time. Does that make it more clear for when that's currently here on the call? If it doesn't, definitely let me know. But as far as any current selling opportunity, if I can find anything on lower time frames, so probably I'd probably see this in here. If market were to come back, 30. Okay, probably see this. And put my alerts here. Usually, like I've said, like I definitely don't really put my sell limits unless I know that for a fact we're in a great structure that's currently printing. But since we're just been, market just been stop hunting, then I'm definitely gonna be, having my alerts ready as they go near my entry, so I can, see how the market is moving, look at price action before I even enter. So if I see like crypto just start, just out of nowhere print out some pretty bullish candles, then I'm gonna step away from it. I'm not gonna look at it. I'm gonna take it. I'd rather wait for the next trade. So I think we do see this for Solana. Nice little 1 to 3 setup. Let me see what's happening here. 45. So I do like this here as far as like buys, but it's I just don't like the liquidity here. I just don't like that. Commercial spots. So as far as like buys, I definitely do see that. Their liquidity. We didn't really fully clear all this, but the setup's right there though. I'm gonna put alert here. There you go. You guys are always, as far as like taking these setups, I'm always, like I've said, using lower risk on these setups. Nice little 1 and 3. Cool. Okay. I see that. All right. It is kind of making more sense for one that's currently here. As far as like how I'm looking at these setups, how I'm like interpreting the market, due to even formulate these kind of setups and seeing what to do during, worst case scenarios. Because when I'm taking these setups, I'm always taking worst case scenarios, even though, you know, it's very easy to stick to one bias and telling yourself, oh, this trade has to hit, or, I'm never wrong. But I'm always, optimistic that, if we're to go against me, then I know for a fact that, I'm not gonna I'm already expecting it. I'm always expecting it just so that it doesn't really catch me off guard because we've already seen how markets move, especially with volatility. So, and since it's stop hunting, like I've said, it just makes sense that just expect the unexpected when it comes to these kind of conditions. So, to the one, to the three. Yeah, same thing with total three. Like, I just don't like the liquidity that's building up at these lows. And if since we're kind of like still downtrending, we haven't really, checking out the highs yet. So we could probably still see something along the lines as well. Why did it? There you go. So definitely can see along the lines as crypto is still making its way lower until we actually see like that shift in momentum causing, you know, basically just clearing all this out in a single swoop and a single candle here, which is another possibility. Yeah. So definitely be cautious, especially this week with the news. Um, like as far as getting stop hunted, just use low risk. That was probably be my strategy for this week. Use low risk. That man Trump says something and the market goes down or it recovers. Yeah, like he really just say one thing, like let's say, we go to war or like or you probably see like the news pop up, oh, like Iran just hit one of the US bases, market tanks, but you probably see the news after the market tanks. Yeah, am I saying this right? Yeah. You probably see, let's say the market's tank and then see the news. There you go. So each time you see that. If you guys ever like pay attention to like news as far as when they get released and like the market will always play out first and then the news will release it. And affect your position if you're on the wrong side of the trade. Yes, 100%. Like that's all right now. Like I'm just using the low risk just for this week. Like I know it's just because there was a couple times where on my own personal trades where like market hit my stop loss and market goes my way. I'm like, okay, cool. So it's just readjusting the strategy when it comes to these kind of conditions, especially with everything going on. And Have you guys seen what I sent inside the chat? How it was like a screenshot of how each war you'd always see the market on a higher time frame scale. You will always seeing some kind of uptrend pop up. You know, so especially when it comes to, like, the markets post war, the Vietnam War, the market went up. The Gulf War, the Iraq War, the Crimean War, the Israel Hamas War, and the U.S. Israel Iran War. So there's always some kind of, like, especially in the higher time frames, when it comes to investing. I'm talking about, like, uh you know let's call it years, like every, like, on a yearly basis, and you compile it into, let's say, let me see here. Yeah, basically on a yearly basis, you see the market always on an uptrend. Let me see here. Go back to logarithmic. Okay, I'm put it back on regular. Cool. Let me see the chat box real quick. Gotta be on Twitter 24/7. Yeah, like I'm also on Twitter like all the time. That's actually where I get all my news from, especially when it comes to, like, crypto related. So definitely Twitter is very, very slept on. Very slept on. Definitely. Yes, it's very easy to, doom scroll. But it's not definitely not as worse, like, as on TikTok. So at least when you're scrolling on Twitter, you're actually looking for different plays, looking for news. So I guess there's, like, some kind of uh a better way of looking at it, but you have to definitely catch yourself from not doom scrolling. So especially if you're, like, your feed is nothing but, like, markets, crypto, then it's good. If it's anything besides that, then I suggest follow, like, a lot of, like, these different, like, news outlets, crypto platforms, projects, and your feed just starts, the algorithm just feeds you a lot of the crypto stuff. That's actually where I get all my plays from, as far as, like, investment opportunities, or, like, any kind of, like, new um different investments, or, like, new things that are popping up. Um, Especially with, like, different projects doing different things. So I did send out a nice little uh, token that's this wallet. I believe it was Soulflare, where, like, all your transactions are what's what I'm looking for. All your transactions are discrete. I'll just put it that way. So here, yep, exactly. That's where all the alphas are. Yep. Yeah, I literally, like, I'm always, like, on Twitter, probably, like, in the morning time, sometime in the morning times, somewhere, like, early midday, maybe, like, yeah, early afternoon, and then, like, late afternoon. So I kind of catch up as far as, like, the morning news. Midday, see what's happening. If it's usually dead, then I usually wait till, like, in the afternoon, or also, like, at night, just to kind of catch up and seeing if there's anything that pops up. So, definitely, very, very useful. So let me see here. I think so. I already went over BTC, ETH, Solana, USDT. So this is actually something that we've been looking at for a while. So this definitely looks like a reaccumulation schematic that's currently being printed out. Beautiful setup. So this is the USDT dominance, where you see a lot of investors convert their funds, their cryptos, into stablecoins, and you can definitely see how as you start to increase in price, that means a lot of investors are transitioning their alts or their crypto into stablecoins. So I definitely do see this high get taken out. So definitely be cautious, which causes basically crypto to go down. This is kind of like more of a imminent kind of thing where if this thing starts to go up, then you see that investors are converting into stable coins. So I definitely do see it. This high get taken out again. So here, so that's like another indicator that I'm looking at. Look at the weekly. Yeah, basically this is kind of like the overall setup I'm looking at for this right there, all that. So definitely we want to see these highs get taken out. Currently building up liquidity. So we're not in the clear just yet. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I still see some possible sells to basically just clear where we at, and like with the majors, like with the BTC, ETH, the main ones, and we'll have to see what happens from there. But yeah, see here. Look at USDC. Do that for that. Huh. I haven't really been looking at this chart here at all. Why does it keep on zooming in like that? Let's see here. We're gonna adjust. I don't know why it keeps on zooming in. There we go. So, next thing that I want to look at is sure is that ETH times BTC. Okay, Chainlink, XRP, VIX, money printer. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I mean that's basically it as far as all the main charts that I want to look at. I'm gonna quickly look at no. So I definitely can look at all of the altcoins and see what's happening there. So this actually is printing out exactly as planned so far. Cool. Let's see here. I'll go into the watch list, crypto hit list. Look at AVAX. So AVAX actually does look pretty good. I would want to still see this. Let's see here. Yeah, I definitely want to see these lows get taken out. This right here get taken out. So I can print out something like this, since we're kind of like printing out this. I'm running out of room. There you go. Nice little Wyckoff schematic, a little quick one. So you can see how everything's kind of looking similar to what I'm kind of been drawing out. Let's see here, text, brush. Cool. First one, second one. I definitely want to see that third one, and then any entries. You probably even catch them like in here, in your like last opportunities. Maybe like over here for AVAX. But AVAX is still a great coin as far as investing wise. I definitely do like this, and if we're to catch any opportunities on perpetuals, this is definitely on my list. AVAX, Chainlink, anything else, and Litecoin. Those are I'm definitely taking on perpetuals. So here ICP. Look at ICP real quick. Honestly, not really much going on with the alts. Filecoin. We're seeing some kind of strength in Filecoin. Finally, a little bit. Pyth. Mm, I just don't really like Python anymore. Yeah, I don't really like it no more. Caspa, AVAX, HBAR. Honestly, HBAR might even come back, might even like, hold where it's currently at right now. Wait, didn't the founder of Litecoin abandon the project? I did not hear that actually. I I mean, I think let me see if I can find something on. I know Litecoin's always been like a long term kind of thing where like hasn't really, I haven't really even heard much about it to be honest. As far as like news wise, it's definitely been around. But the question is, will it die off with the rest of the coins that are out there? So even though it's definitely been around since BTC or very very close to it, um, I think there's something along the lines like that. I think I seen something like with like Litecoin, but I don't think it was them abandoning it. If I'm not mistaken, Litecoin, Coinbase, crypto. What if I nothing? Huh? News, editor picks. Yeah. Let's see here. Pyth like a mini chain link. Yes, absolutely. I still like Pyth, but as far as like where it's currently at right now, I'll just wait for BTC just on dropping. To be honest, here PayPal, Filecoin. Yeah, I mean, with Filecoin, I mean, it's not really much going on. Like because we're kind of still in here. Market can just take this lower again. Pretty. I mean, if we do see something like this, then I'll be perfect. But we'll definitely see. We'll see what happens. So you guys are seeing some of the chats. The thing about Pi is that a lot of perp execs use their data feed for trading. Yes, you are 100% right. I know Jupiter used um I know Pi and Chainlink kind of work together in a way. What's another one? What's another platform? But yeah, yeah, a lot of perpetual platforms use it. I've definitely seen their name pop up on their data feeds, especially on the charts. I think I can show an example on Jupiter. Perpetuals. Yeah, let's see if it actually shows on here. It doesn't. I don't think it does. I know it definitely showed like I think before like all the updates, it showed like Pyth like somewhere in here. I think that's probably like Radium. Let me look at Radium. Let me see if they have it. Full screen, quick search. No. Huh. I thought they had it. I guess not. So here, yes. Yeah, especially because like the overall like, liquidity in the market right now is it is so dead. This is definitely like the most delayed I've seen when it comes to like alts. Perpetuals, orderly, symbol, nope. Huh. Learn about perps, operations. I'm kind of curious. Yeah, but I definitely have seen it on other platforms. Seradium delivers powered by Orderly Network, so it's not by this one. Hmm. But yeah, see here, prohibited, trading basics, liquidity FAQs. Let's see here, stake, liquidity pools. Okay, yeah, definitely going out of topic here. As for like the rest of the charts and like the rest of like the alts, um, as far as investing wise, I do like AVAX, currently where it's at. Um, Chainlink, Chainlink, I'm waiting to see if we get another dip lower. Um, Anything with everything else. But yeah. But as far as like any setups, that's kind of really just it on my end. If you guys have any more questions, definitely feel free to drop inside the chat. But that definitely will be it for tonight's session. Definitely appreciate you guys for hopping on onto the tonight's crypto call. But without further ado, I definitely will see you guys next time. And yeah, I hope you guys have a blessed and wonderful night. And I'll see you guys onto the next call on Thursday. And I know as far as the cruise, the traders lock in, the time is ticking. So definitely make that decision. I know the rooms are being sold out and are limited. But it'll be a pretty fun time. So yeah, let's get it. So I'll see you guys next time, and yeah, I'll see you guys there.